Hi, my name is Lauren Moellering, and I'm a senior at Homestead High School, and I'm applying for the Ann Ford Scholarship. My story with dyslexia is a little bit different from others because I wasn't officially diagnosed until I was a sophomore in high school. So all throughout elementary and middle school, I struggled to find a reason for why school was so challenging for me. For this video, I will be conducting an interview on myself, describing how dyslexia has shaped my educational journey and how it has affected my plans for the future. I've also attached a paper I wrote in my expository writing class defining what dyslexia is like for me and my struggles. Throughout elementary and middle school, I struggled with dyslexia. In elementary school, we would have reading groups, and I was always placed in a reading group below the lowest reading group, so it was just the teacher and I. Then we would have spelling words for each week, and I would memorize those words for the week to pass the test, and then about 2 weeks later, I would completely forget how to spell all of those words. And I got pretty good grades throughout elementary and middle school, so most of my teachers just brushed it off and thought, oh, I was in a phase, I'll grow out of it, when in actuality, they never saw the hard work and effort that I had to put in outside to keep up with the other kids. Then when I got to high school, math became a challenge because letters got introduced. Once letters were introduced, I spent more time figuring out which letters were actually in the problem than actually doing the math calculations. And then Spanish rolled around and it became extremely difficult because in English I can barely figure out which letters match with which sounds, and then in Spanish, with each letter having a different sound and meaning, I couldn't put any letters together. So reading, writing, and speaking Spanish was almost impossible for me. But the biggest turning point was when I took the SAT. I couldn't finish any of the sections, and it was one of the hardest tests I've ever taken in my life. After that, my parents and I decided it was time for me to get tested for dyslexia. I have about 4 main coping strategies that help me deal with my dyslexia. The first thing I use is self-advocacy. At the beginning of each semester, I meet with each of my teachers and walk through my 504 plan. There, I create a plan of action for the whole semester, that way I can be successful in their classroom. That plan usually entails me getting extra time on tests or seeing their handwritten notes. Since my school uses digital resources, I had to petition the district to receive hard textbooks. Secondly, I rewrite my notes with several different colors, that way it helps me remember the material better. Thirdly, I use audiobooks. When I use these audiobooks, I usually have a textbook in front of me. That way I can see and hear the information that is being presented to me. Lastly, I have become very proficient in time management. Once I get home from school, I chunk off my night for each of my different subjects that I have homework in. This allows me to finish all my homework in time and not have to worry about not getting done. Dyslexia has shaped me in 3 major ways. 1, to be confident. I have gained confidence by having to speak with my teachers and guidance counselors about my struggles in the classroom. 2, I've mastered time management. I am able to balance my academic and athletic schedule. 3, I have become self-reliant. I have discovered several different ways to help me accomplish my goals. My future plan is to obtain a bachelor degree in exercise science and move on to grad school to become a physician's assistant. When I was younger, I sustained several knee injuries, and through the rehabilitation process, I fell in love with the human body and how it works. Also, with my dyslexia, I found that science was one of my stronger subjects. So with my love of science and my newfound love of the human body, I thought becoming an orthopedic PA would be the route for me. Thank you for taking the time to review my application by watching my video and reading my paper. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about me and my story. This scholarship would change my life, and thanks again.